Well, first, thank you very much for this time. We really appreciate this.
Sure, my pleasure.
The beginning of any academic year is a challenge, but at PCC we're looking at 12 straight terms of growth and enrollment, up sometimes 15, 20%.
Exactly.
Talk a little bit about what special challenge that provides the college with such massive growth.
Well, as you can imagine, it's about having enough facilities and classroom teachers and courses and sections and all those things. Fortunately, because we are in the process of building out, we are able to accommodate most of that growth right now currently. But if that continues for any sustained period of time beyond the present, we will have some challenges regarding that. The last 2 years, for example, we're up 30%. You can imagine what that means in terms of class availability and sections and those kinds of things. But the good part of that is that we feel that we are in the right place, doing the right thing due to the recession. Many students, as you know, are with part-time work or full-time employment and then come to class. But their challenges now is to find work. So they're available, trying to be retrained and get out into the workforce. We also have a young group of students who are graduating from high school who probably, under normal circumstances, economically, would have gone away to one of four-year universities or colleges, in-state or out-of-state. But often those students are now making the choice and now coming to PCC and other community colleges because of our lower tuition and our availability for them to stay at home and save some money. So we're getting kind of the young group coming in, the older group coming in, and creating a great surge in enrollment. But we're doing everything we can to accommodate all these students. As I said, if that's sustained, though, for any longer period of time, we really will be challenged, unfortunately.
This year has been a very exciting year for the bond program, the successful 2008 bond program. Where there's the Willow Creek facility, there's that great downtown center, we're breaking ground in Newburgh. But this isn't the really big exciting stuff. That's still to come on our campuses. Talk a little bit about the big news.
Well, those things you listed will allow us to be more accessible in our 5-county district. But the exciting news about the dollars and the resources we've generated from that bond will allow us, for example, on this campus, Sylvania, we'll move to more toward net zero to save the environment, so more issues we'll be able to address about sustainability. It will be a pretty massive redesign of the campus and kind of rebuild. We're not going to build new buildings, but we're going to do a lot of redesigning here, which is going to be good for staff and students. At our Cascade campus in the Northeast, those dollars will be used to create a student center, also to renovate or create a new library and provide more parking, which is a real big issue, as you know, in the Northeast campus here on Killingsworth. We are also investing in terms of Rock Creek, in terms of lab, career programs for students who are interested in workforce development or workforce skill training. We're going to provide more of those services on that campus with an expansion there. Exciting, though, is our Southeast Center, which is a regional center now, where we enroll about 5,500 students. We've got, well, it was built for 5,500. We have 8,500 enrolled there, with several thousand waiting to get on the rolls for classes and labs and those kinds of things. So we are planning to turn that into a comprehensive campus, which means that one day you'll be able to attend the Southeast Campus or Center and complete your associate degree there without transferring to the other campuses, which will make it very convenient for those residents in the Southeast. So that's our exciting news in terms of what's happening in each of our campuses and centers within the district.
You'd mentioned how large the enrollment growth has been, but at the same time, the other challenge is that the 2009 legislature cut our funding by 10%.
That's right.
The governor in May asked us to cut it by another 9%.
Right.
And then in August, talked about another 8% cut.
Yeah.
Talk about those twin challenges of lower state funding and the enrollment growth.
Well, as you know, the enrollment growth means we have to accommodate more numbers with more facilities and more resources. At the same time, on the public funding side, we're getting cut, again, due to smaller resource packages and less revenue coming into the state because of recession. We understand that. Fortunately, we are funded by what we call the three-legged stool: state funding, property tax dollars, and also tuition and fees. So what happens is we kind of move to those other areas in terms of looking for a little more funding to get us through these tough periods. We've also we'll have to probably moderately increase our tuition and fees for students for the enrollment and that sort of thing. Not so much that we hurt enrollment and hurt students, particularly from low-income families, to attend, but it's part of balancing our budget and continue to provide our program, courses, and classes. So is it a challenge? Yes. And I'd be very worried if we would project down for the next couple of years and these cuts would continue. But for now, we're holding our own and doing everything we can to be accessible to those who want to attend Portland Community College.
Well, while the state funding is a real challenge, one of the neat things that happened was the Miller match.
Sure.
The Miller Foundation came to us 2 years ago and challenged us to raise a record amount of money for scholarships. We did. Came back next year, did it again. Came back this year and challenged again.
Exactly.
You have a philosophy of access to all. If anybody wants to be able to talk a little bit about how the Miller Foundation is helping meet that, your philosophy.
Well, I'm a big believer that if you, as a student, finishes high school and you want to go to post-secondary education or higher education, that finances should not be an issue, even if you come from low-income families or you're challenged in terms of finding money, that the state, from a state policy standpoint, should provide enough aid and support to make that happen. So my dream here, my vision for Portland Community College is that students will be able to come here in the future and money will not be an issue. My bigger vision is that anywhere in the state of Oregon, you could, as a graduate of Oregon High School, can again enroll in university system or one of the state universities, community colleges for at least 2 years, and your education would pay for if you can't afford it. Well, that right now is a vision, but we're working really hard to raise money here, particularly to our foundation. The great news is the Miller Foundation has stepped up the last 2 years and even committed to a third year of putting $1 million on the table for community colleges to divide up if we can match it with new contributions to our federations or to our foundations. What that means for us is an additional $320,000 per year. So think about 3 times 3, that's almost $1 million. And we're matching that with new donors. So that means perhaps $2 million on the table, over a course of 3 years. And most of that money would be used to provide scholarship and help students pay for books and fees and those kinds of things. So it certainly fits into my philosophy of more access to higher education and what we should do to help fund that.
Staying on the Access for All, one of the great success stories about PCC is a little bit unsung, and that's the Gateway to College.
Yes.
Started 10 years ago as a program for dropouts. Get them back into high school, get them back into college, get them college credits. Exactly. Now it's expanded to 18 states and I think 30 colleges and universities, and it's become its own not-for-profit. Talk a little bit about that, if you could.
Well, it's part of the whole Gates Foundation initiative to do more to get more students through high school and into college and completing college. And this was that model that we help introduce all those places by funding from the Gates Foundation to our Gateway to College program, where students, even in high school, begin to take college courses. You do several things when that happens. One is you kind of raise their expectation and you change the environment and you kind of insulate some of the peer group problems they're having. At the same time, you hire a mentor to help them with personal issues, such as finances, such as challenges they may have for a number of different personal, social reasons. And that model seems to really be very productive. And students are able to, may even have dropped out of high school. We get them back in college, have them complete their high school diploma, at the same time at least get an associate degree of some type where they can go out and go to work. Hopefully, most of those students will go on to complete 4 years of college, but we certainly are doing a good job of getting them through high school now, and then also getting them to a community college. And that model is introduced, as you said, all over the country, but we're very, very proud of being kind of the home for that program here.
Well, Dr. Pulliams, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.